Transition now to Air Force One as we see President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden exiting Air Force One here in Atlanta as they get ready to join the motorcade to head to the memorial services for First Lady Rosalynn Carter.
And as we mentioned, Aisha, they are just two of a number of dignitaries who are landing here in Atlanta this morning to attend that service. We know that Vice President Kamala Harris and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff also expected to be there. I believe they also flew on Air Force One, along with a host of former First Ladies, as you mentioned, arriving here today, from former First Lady Laura Bush, Michelle Obama, Melania Trump. And of course, we're expected to see a lot of our Georgia politicians. You can see Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens there as well to greet the president, along with, I believe, Senator Ossoff and others, Raphael Warnock there as well. So a lot of our local dignitaries.
A very somber occasion there, but also a celebration as well of a long life, a life of service, a life of humanity, participating in humanitarian efforts all around the world, and just really a moment to just pause and reflect. And we do know some special friends of the Carters. They're sort of passing the torch there with their Habitat for Humanity build to Garth Brooks and his wife Trisha Yearwood. Over the years, they've done several Habitat for Humanity builds. They are on the program under the musical tributes for that private ceremony today. Very close friends of the Carter family. So many people here in Atlanta to take in this private moment.
And speaking of that, being private, this ceremony today that we've gotten to look at the program, and it really does feel like a family service, a private service. We're going to hear some of Mrs. Carter's favorite scripture passages, some of her favorite songs. As Christy mentioned, her grandchildren will be some of the pallbearers. So it is, while the world is watching this service and everyone's interested in it, it still has a very close-knit, private family feel to it, and I think that's what the Carters really wanted for this.
And it has been a moment here in Atlanta as we get ready to watch President Biden departing from Air Force One to head to the private memorial services there for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter. Again, as we mentioned, another anticipated face will be to see the former President Jimmy Carter come to Atlanta from Plains to make that trip. A lot of people were surprised to hear that that was even a possibility after knowing that he'd entered hospice care himself. But your wife of 77 years, we can't imagine, what he's thinking and what he's going through at this time, dealing with his own health battles. But I think it's such a special moment. We had so many pictures, and you could just see how much he adored her, and he often would say that she's the real politician in this relationship and in this family. And I think that speaks to everything that we've learned about the former First Lady, as she has just really catapulted and took the role into her own and just really did her own thing in a way that will surely leave a lasting impact, just for years and years to come.
In fact, he talked about Mrs. Carter being a part of pretty much every major decision he made, even during his time in the White House and beyond. And so you've got to imagine that he wanted to be here. I'm sure it was his choice of, because as you said, his health is not the greatest right now, declining, but he wanted to be here to say goodbye to his wife. They were together for so many big moments. Again, you're looking live, in case you're just joining us, at Air Force One. President Joe Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, just arriving here in Atlanta as they get ready to make their way to Glenn Memorial on the campus of Emory University for this private, invitation-only service to say goodbye to Mrs. Rosalynn Carter.